You're listening to The Unprofessional Entrepreneur, the podcast where small business owners learn to build their business unprofessionally. It's high time to stop stressing about having perfect content and a conventional way to market your business. I want you to embrace your unprofessional side and learn to succeed on your own terms. I'm your host, Veli, a feel-good marketing mentor and the owner of a content repurposing agency, FDVA. Tune in each Thursday when new episodes air, and let's build your business unprofessionally. Hello, and happy morning, afternoon, good evening to all of you that are tuning in from around the world. Thank you for always joining The Unprofessional Entrepreneur. I love to have you here. It means the world to me. I wrote a piece of content, who knows if it's out yet by the time you're listening to this, saying that I would record podcasts 2 times a week for the rest of the year, even if it never signed me a client, just because that's how much I enjoy it. But I really like that other people also enjoy it, and it's not just me who thinks, like, I'm the shit. I'm sure I'm not the only person who feels like that. But as always, my title explains what this episode is gonna be, but I'm still gonna explain why we're talking about this episode. So today we're talking about unconventional ways I land PR ops. PR ops in my world means media features, podcast interviews, and speaking at summits, events, what have you. That could also be guest speaking. Um, Anything that is a collaborative effort towards showcasing your expertise, but also at the same time builds your authority and expands your reach. Those are things that I classify as PR. And I cannot say that I am an expert. I did not go to university at all. I don't know the online definition. Let's look it up. Let's look up what PR actually is. Definition: public relations. Professional maintenance of a favorable public image by a company or organization or famous person. Yeah, public relations opportunities. Managing how others see and feel about a person, brand, or company. Focuses on maintaining a positive corporate image while handling media requests and shareholder inquiries. None of these are what I am looking for. What is a PR opportunity? A PR opportunity is an occurrence that you can take advantage of to get media attention for your company. So whatever. It's vague as fuck. I'm gonna say that what I say is accurate. Speaking opportunities, aka summits, podcasts, and media features are PR opportunities. But the main reasons, there's 2, that I like to use PR is one is visibility. It is my only visibility strategy, which I talked about in a different episode. It's how I get in front of new audiences. I actually have and continue to sign clients from doing PR, and lovingly, I barely have to actively search for it because of the amount of effort I put into it at the beginning. But having aligned PR opportunities, because this was a mistake I made in the beginning, I went for everything that came my way. Having aligned ones, speaking to coaches, entrepreneurs, founders, startups, tech people, whatever, who have the same audience as you, but sell a different service is the sweet spot and is how you get client referrals, is how you grow your audience, is how you take advantage of PR. A perfect example, if you're an Instagram strategist and you speak on a Pinterest manager's podcast, or if you are a tech VA and you speak on the podcast of business coaches, because all of them need help with their tech. You see what I mean? Like getting in front of that audience where you're the adjacent hire, but someone they really need. So for me, being a content repurposer, I do a lot of PR for my agency more so than my one-on-one. And so I will speak to business coaches, I will speak to social media managers, I will speak to podcast hosts, I will speak to Pinterest managers, because all of those people have audiences, whether they are coaches or consultants or service providers that can benefit from content repurposing. And in my experience, not a lot of content repurposers are out there doing PR. So I have become a bit of a known to in the industry for speaking about PR. And I get asked to speak at summits and podcasts naturally now because I'm the one out there talking about content repurposing. But yeah, those are the 2 reasons. They're kind of intertwined, the community and the expanded reach, the accessing other people's audiences and how fucking valuable that is to your business because algorithms are a tricky bitch, in my opinion. Who knows what Instagram's doing on any given day of the week? TikTok is something that I understand, but I don't get, you know? Um, so if I can just borrow your audience for 30 minutes, fine by me, much easier. Would much rather have a conversation like this for 30 minutes and sign clients versus dance around on TikTok and try and figure out what is going to land me clients, what people actually want to hear from me. Hot tip, you can get all of this information inside my PR pitch guide. It'll be linked in the show notes. But a hot tip is every time I send a request to a host to be on their show, I'll say, this is what I talk about, but I would love to hear what you think your audience would like best because nobody knows their audience better than the host. Like, I can tell you what people ask me, what people like to talk to me about, but you could tell me, no, my audience isn't really doers. My audience is lazy people. So tell me the why instead of the how to, because that's what's going to interest my clients in hiring you over going out and doing it themselves, right? Okay, so the 3 ways that I land my PR ops as follows. 1, looking. Once you know where to look, it's pretty straightforward and pretty easy to continue accessing PR ops. But in the beginning, when you don't know where to look, like I spent a solid amount of time trying to figure out how to speak at summits because every time I would see summits come out, it was the same speakers, and I could see that it was this big insider circle, and I was like, "How do I get inside that circle?" Like so many things online, there's coaches that have their circles, and those people are running summits, and those people ask the other people inside that circle to speak at their summits, because when someone starts promoting their summit, they've already planned the whole thing, and they already have their speakers set up. So you need to be in that circle before. Again, I cover that inside the PR pitch guide. Strongly recommend that you purchase that. It'll be in the show notes. The second way is I make it really fucking obvious that I'm open to PR opportunities. I will go on my stories probably once a quarter and say, hey, I got space in my calendar. If anyone needs a podcast guest, if anyone knows of someone looking for a podcast guest, also guest coaching, I list them all out. Summits, guest coaching, podcasts, what have you. I'm available and people can send opportunities my way. And you know what? They do. And because people know that I do interviews, because people know that I am someone that's constantly on other podcasts, whenever somebody posts, I'm looking for podcast guests or I need a guest on this topic, people send them to me, either the host or send me the opportunity to pitch the host all the time. It's like this is what I was saying in that like I barely look for opportunities anymore because of I literally got a voice note yesterday as I'm recording this on May 23rd. I got a voice note from a girl that was in a program with me that she is launching her podcast in June and she's looking for guests. And she basically said that I was one of the first few guests she was asking because she knows that I do podcast interviews. Easy, done. She already had topics she wanted me to talk about. All I have to do is show up now for the appointment that we booked. And then the sneaky, sneaky way that I think you're all going to like, because this is I don't see people talking about this. That's such a cliche statement on the online world, but it's true. I don't think I've ever seen someone say they do this to land podcast interviews. And that is that I look through people like me who do podcast episodes and I look at the shows that they were on because that shows me that that host takes guests because not every host takes guests. I'm very picky with my guests, so if people pitch me, unless you're like someone that I know or you come in with a super hot pitch, my answer will probably be no. But if you see someone has a show that is primarily guests or every other week is a guest, it's a safe bet that they are always on the lookout for new guests. And so when you slide in their DMs or email them or find their application form, it's not going to be hard to be accepted. but it's also a really easy way to filter out all of the millions of podcasts that exist. Like, I've seen people say, go on Spotify and type in marketing podcasts and go through the list and look for emails and pitch those people and follow them on social media. Like, no, no, that's so much work, so much unnecessary work. I look through people's Instagram highlights when they do a lot of podcast interviews and look at the shows they've been on, because then I already have instant access to the Instagram because it's linked. I hate that about podcasts. Like on Apple, you can't click on any of the links. Such a stupid feature. Um, but yeah, so that's how I land them is I literally tell people I'm open to guesting and the opportunities come to me. I look for application forms and look inside the groups, the communities, the circles that I know I will be able to easily find application forms because I'm a lazy bitch. And I look through people who also do guesting just as much as me and pitch the shows they've been on because, again, I'm a lazy bitch. Anyways, if you are someone who is interested in landing PR ops, in bringing PR ops into your world, in increasing your visibility through PR, I know this episode mostly focused on podcasts, and that is because everything about media features and summits is inside the PR pitch guide. I'm not someone who focuses 100% on PR because my coaching is more on building your marketing foundations than getting visible. But when I started my business, I had a podcast pitch template and it was my most requested template. Like the other things I made never really sold, and that one just sold on Evergreen on its own, no idea how. So when I revamped it to the podcast pitch template, I was like, I've been now in this for 3 years. I've been putting in a lot of work to find more than just podcasts because honestly, the backlinks from media features are so valuable for your website traffic. Um, and summits are cool. I actually really enjoy doing summits and the people that I meet at them. But yeah, so all of that information, all of the secrets to getting into it are inside the PR pitch guide if that's something you like. But I'm curious and would love to know if you are using PR as a marketing strategy, as a visibility strategy. I have had so many people come to me and say they started guesting on podcasts and pitching podcasts because of how much I talk about it and how much they see me doing it. So if you needed a permission slip that you can, literally anyone can speak on a podcast. Just go out there and start putting your name out there. Let your audience know you want to do it, and I'm sure an opportunity will fall into your lap. Um, but that's all I have for you this week. As usual, the show notes have all the goods. Come find me on Instagram at FellyDay or at Unprofessional Entrepreneur. My website is fellyday.com. I would love to invite you to my one-on-one where we build out your marketing foundation so that you can market in a feel-good way by pairing your marketing with your energy. That is all the information on the website at fellyday.com/mentorship. I will put it in the show notes. Of course, the PR pitch guide for those of you that are ready to start booking PR ops and do more than podcasts, of course. Head to the show notes. It's a do not miss. And I will catch you all next week because I believe this is going to be a Thursday episode. So I'm going to love you, leave you, and see you next week on another episode of The Unprofessional Entrepreneur. And as always, don't forget to stay unprofessional.